listening to BSI, the podcast with Benny Philhauer, Dowsy and Iko Para. Enjoy!
So you got paid, SKC got paid, and Orlando got screwed.
But like, here's Sydney's basketball bed. Like, if I showered before this podcast and then we were on here for like an hour and a half, like I could have got dirty in that time because she'd want me to shower again before bed.
Welcome to BSI, the podcast. As always, I never remember what episode we're on, but it's a big one. We got Dwyer coming on the show, former SKC player, Orlando City player, former teammate of all three of us. And so I think it'll be fun. We'll try and ask him some questions about everywhere he's played. His kind of start is also interesting when he came over from England and started at JC here. So good guy to get on the show.
Yeah, he's had quite the career, quite the story. And it's pretty cool that, he's played with all of us, so we all know him pretty well. I think you guys will hear a lot of laughs. And
he's only the second most famous person in his family, so maybe we can get Sid to jump on as well at some point.
Yeah. I
also wanted to mention that we finished our BSI bonus pod with a lot of the questions that our Patreons have asked, and that'll be up on our Patreon site. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it went well. A lot of good questions, a lot of good answers, some debate. So if you like BSI the podcast, then you'll probably love BSI bonus pod. So join our Patreon account and get all of the perks.
Yeah.
All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get Dom on the show. Thanks for coming on, Dom. Welcome, Dwyer, to the podcast, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Mate, thanks for having me.
Feels like old times again.
Pleasure.
2014 all over again.
Yeah, 2014. All four of us
were
there. That was a good year for Dom.
You.
Great year for Dom.
Dom, how many goals you got that year?
I forget.
I don't even know. So I know
so many. It wasn't as many as
22,
Bradley.
Right?
22, I'm pretty sure.
I think I saw it, yeah.
I think, 27 in all competitions. But
but who's counting, right?
But you don't remember.
Well, while you guys had a great year, I had a terrible year. So good job, guys.
Oh, sorry. Was that the Colorado one
you don't
or the
remember,
Achilles?
You don't remember either, huh?
That was Colorado, right?
Yeah, that was a Colorado broken ankle year. Good stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
3 games in.
Well,
I swear every time.
You're doing all right now, so we're glad to see it.
Yeah,
that's debatable.
You do it big or don't do it. Huh?
All right, Dom. So
that's true.
Dom. So we'll do quick hitters. I know you told me you've listened to one, but I believe you've listened to more of these. I mean,
I've listened to a couple, but not.
I
like
believe
the whole
he's listened to zero.
So what happens is we'll give you some quick hitters. Should be easy questions, so you get warmed up, and maybe by then you'll be able to take your beanie off. And then we'll get into some questions of your career. And at the end, your good friend, Iko Para, will put you in the hot seat, and he'll give you 5 questions where you can plead the fifth one time. Right. And if you answer all 5 questions without pleading the fifth, you get to ask one question to any of us that we have to answer truthfully. So keep that in mind. And before we start, I wanted to ask you real quick, are you disappointed that Liverpool is yet to win a Premier League title?
Oh my gosh. I've been like bragging to all my friends, like just crushing them all year about how we finally got one. Nothing can stop us. And then like the only thing that can stop us in the whole world is like halted everything. So I don't really know how I feel about it.
No, dude. I even feel bad for you, dude. So hopefully
they have to give it to them. There's no way they can't give it to them.
But you know, there's always going to be Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, Man U fans that just say, nah, they never ended, so you don't know for sure.
It's like an asterisk season.
All right, here we go. Let's start. First question's real simple. Who's a better Instagram follow, Dwyer or Sydney Leroux Dwyer?
Sydney Leroux Dwyer, because I mean she basically runs both pages, but you're gonna get more consistent posts from that one.
Yeah, I can vouch for that because I follow both you guys, and I used to only follow you, but now Michelle forced me to follow Sydney. So I've been going through hers, and she's got some elaborate. I mean, I know the exact hour that Rue wakes up in the morning. So
yeah,
that wine drinking one was good. When the wine drinking, how much she loved her kids. I think it was.
That was real.
Actually, that brought me back to something that Michelle showed me maybe a couple weeks back when everybody was showing their stupid exercising videos during quarantine. And Sid's like, "Hey, I'm gonna do it." I'm like, "Michelle, why are you showing me this? This is so dumb." And then she did like one push up, and she's like, "All right, that's good for today." That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
but because we've been actually like grafting every day and training for like 3 or 4 hours, so then we get all these requests to post these videos, and we're just struggling like for fuck's sake.
I get like 3 requests in a week, and I'm like, leave me alone. So I can only imagine what you guys have to deal with.
Most of my requests are like, can you do this? But with Sydney and the kids too. I was like,
Yeah.
Like us.
yeah, like the podcast, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she'll be here shortly. Yeah.
Next question. You're known to love to tussle with like the center back, some of the big ones as well. What's your favorite center back in the league to rile up?
Oh, that's fun. There's quite a few guys actually. I enjoyed playing against Bees last year, and like me and Ike in training in Kansas, we would hurt each other the most in training, and like some of our battles were just ridiculous.
But you guys wouldn't play against each other, would you?
Yeah,
Or like
training
small
every now and then.
Small-sided.
Yeah, because when I still wasn't in the team for a while, like Ike used to just kick the shit out of me. Basically.
Yeah, but when you weren't on the team, that was like our first year. Ike wasn't like starting either. It was Colin.
Well,
But
it didn't matter. Does it matter if you start or not for Sporting? You have to compete all the time.
But
so
that's
there's
true,
no
that's
days
true.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter.
There's
will match you
actually,
up
to be
against-
fair,
Yeah.
now that you say it, Colin, I think I had a good one. When he was at New York, there was one game where he just hit me, and I just beat the crap out of him the whole game after that. It was so dirty. Like, every time we got the ball, either he fouled me or I fouled him. We didn't touch the ball.
Dude, I could have sworn you were gonna say Kendall Waston though. That was my guess.
Oh. Yeah, but I actually, like, got in his head, and he's like, we're in each other's face, and then he just, like, I start kicking him a bit more and, like, pushing him, and he's, like, kind of laughing at me, and I'm, like, in his face, but I know he'll just eat me alive. So.
So when we played you last year, I remember telling you, Dom, just don't kick me. Like, I'm so over that stage. I was like, just don't kick me. I don't care.
No.
Like,
I felt like I was pretty careful. I mean, honestly, we weren't as competitive as we wanted to be in that game against you guys. So it
was 1-1.
like not really.
I mean, I just remember being like, yeah, Joel, because you've toned back a bit, but you used to be one of the best pressing forwards for sure in MLS.
Yeah.
And I remember it's like, please just don't leave a foot in or put your shoulder through my back as I'm clearing a ball.
I feel like the refs got so against me, and
That's fair.
Of course, I've had some late striker tackles as you do, but I've been feel like I just get more physical, and I just miss games from yellow cards. So I try to tone it down, but
that's actually
I feel like that's what makes it difficult.
That's a perfect segue into the third question for the quick hitters, and that's who's your least favorite ref in MLS?
Oh.
And by least favorite, I mean who do you hate?
I forget what's his name.
I think I know who you're going to answer.
Yeah, you know exactly the guy. We used to sit
What does
there
he
and
look
have
like?
meals.
What does he look like?
Is it the one when we played in San Jose? He didn't give us your penalty, and then he gave Wando a penalty a minute later?
Yeah, wait, who's the guy who we harassed in the airport?
Harass someone in the airport?
We didn't harass him.
I don't think that. So I was thinking of
that's
Marufo.
Not him. Marufo's the one. I didn't even want to say his name, so I didn't want to give him that. But
The satisfaction.
he is minging, absolutely minging. And then
Is he the one that talks back? Like,
Yeah.
you'll be like, hey, that was a foul. He'd be like, no, it wasn't. You don't know me.
Yeah.
Something like, you don't know the type of person I am or something.
Marufo's cussed me out before in games. Like,
Yeah, he's told me to fuck off. Yeah.
I remember I called him a clown one time. He gave me a yellow card for that.
Hey, do you remember? So the year after you left Sporting, because he hated our team, but more so because of you, Benny. So I went up to him before the game. I said, "Hey, look, you don't have to be the way you always are against us, because Benny's not here anymore." And he actually kind of laughed. So
He's like, yeah, I'm still gonna ask you.
I don't think he could have.
But I always wondered if he hated Dom more or me more. It was a tough call.
We backed each other up definitely on him. He's got our saliva on his shoulders.
All right, so last quick hitter here, and maybe this is a little bit of a tougher question, but at the end of your career, you're still 29, right? Is that what? How old are you?
Still in my 20s. Yeah.
29. So you still got some years left. But at the end of your career, is there a place where you'd like to end your career? What team you'd like to end it on?
That's such a leading question. I don't know. I mean, I've always
maybe 6 years, maybe plus down the road. So.
Yeah, I always like Real Madrid. So I mean, like, I don't. Nah, honestly, it's hard to say. I enjoyed my time in Kansas City. I said I could see myself going back there at some point. And obviously, I know Ike wants me to come to Minnesota, but I don't really want to with him.
Yeah, there were rumors that you were going to go to Minnesota, I think, last year, right?
I know. I heard that.
It didn't help that you're posting.
Flight there.
It didn't help you're posting Minnesota airport pics. So
I know. I just had a connecting flight, and I got there, and there was these people singing in the restaurant. So I just took a picture of the restaurant, these people singing, and then apparently I was getting traded there the next day. So Sid's calling me like, "What's going on?" But no, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say. I've got a lot of family in England, so something in England could be nice. But I don't know. I didn't want to, bounce around so many MLS teams for my whole career, so I kind of like that I've just been to a couple.
Yeah.
No offense.
All right. Well, maybe you'll finish at Liverpool someday when they finally win the championship.
Hey.
But
thanks, mate.
That's done with the quick hitters. We'll get into your career now. And the very first question I want to ask is kind of like, dude, I actually didn't know this about you when we played. I mean, I knew a little bit, but I kind of researched a little bit and read about it. And so your transition from England when you played kind of youth soccer and then deciding to come over to the U.S. and play at junior college. I had read like you had some injuries with your foot where you had broken it like 3 times. Doctors had told you wouldn't play again. So I'm wondering like what that transition was like. What was like your mentality? Were you coming to the U.S. to try and make it pro, to try and get an education? Like how was that whole part of your life?
So I was in Norwich Academy until I was about 16 or 17. And then I broke my foot, broke it again. Doc's like, look, you can't play sports. It's just going to keep breaking. So I was like, okay, well, what can I do? I still want to play football. And then I realized I probably wouldn't play pro. So I got offered a scholarship in America. After having this trial, went to junior college for 2 years, ended up not getting injured. So I stayed there for the whole 2 years, and then went to transfer to USF, to D1 school, big D1. Went there for 6 months. And then I came out early as GA. So my plan was to always come back to England and try and play there and have a degree if all else fails, and ended up staying. And obviously now this is my 9th year in the league now, and still haven't finished my degree, so I'm getting there.
Was that like your only option after leaving Norwich? Did you have options to stay in England and maybe go to a smaller club? Or
no, there's always that. Like you can play semi-pro where you can make a little bit of money for the weekends. You play part-time, but the thing is, in England, there's that opportunity. Once you're 16 or 17, if you don't make it at that point, there's a lot of kids like fall down the wee way, and there's so many more talented kids than me. That just, a lot of my friends were much better than me, and they just never followed up or never got the opportunity to come to the US and play. So it's weird, right? Normally these kids sign pro at 17, 18. I didn't sign pro till 21, 22. So that's something that I think the US system, they need to change a little bit to help these kids be able to go over to Europe and stuff and still be young enough.
Yeah.
And I think it has a little bit, right? I mean, a lot of the homegrown now from when you first came, obviously there was no one.
Sure.
But, yeah.
When was there ever a time with like those injuries early on that you thought you weren't going to become a pro?
Honestly, I was always confident I would be a pro. I just, you never really know with your body. So once you have an injury, you're kind of shocked and you're like, oh wow, well, I was like a depressed 17-year-old, didn't really know what I was going to do. And when all you have is football, you're just kind of like, that was my way out of mummy's house. So right. Until then, I was like, I was just sitting on the sofa, all sad, and icing my foot.
I actually had something pretty similar, not at such an early age, but I think I was 23 at the time. I had played professionally for 3 years, and then I went to Denmark, and actually I got injured before, but I got to Denmark and I had done a surgery for my meniscus. And when I had come back, I played in the Olympics actually. And when I came to Denmark a month or a week after the Olympics, my knee just started swelling up for no reason. Mm-hmm. And I got another MRI. eventually I had to get another surgery, and they went in there, and basically my cartilage was all out of shape. Like where my meniscus was missing, my cartilage was hitting bone to bone, and so I lost a bunch of cartilage. And the doctor said, "Look, cartilage doesn't really grow back. You'll get maybe scar tissue, but this could be something that you kind of have to deal with your entire life. And if it keeps swelling up, you can't play professionally." He basically gave me a 50-50 chance to be able to keep playing professionally. And so, I feel like a lot of times we get in these conversations, Sal and Ike, and we talk to guys that, maybe almost didn't make it, or like almost retired early, or almost quit, or whatever, And so it's crazy how many guys like go through something that you're right there on, like teetering from whether you're going to become a pro and make a really successful career, or just, never be heard from again.
I've always said it's always like the guys that grind it out the longest, right? And just like they look like they're ready to be done, and then somehow they pull another trick up their sleeve and they keep going another few years, and then something else. It's how you react to. Yeah, exactly. You go from winger to defender, or whatever you got to do to survive. But
I heard Ike on the treatment table after he had his Achilles injury, and he's just like, "I'm not doing this again. I'm done." I literally heard you retire, and then I'm like, "All right, I get traded, move around a bit." A couple of years later, he's banging up MLS Defender of the Year again. Like he's just faking it.
Yeah, no, it was deeper than that. A lot deeper than that.
Yeah.
One of these days,
I've seen you work hard, mate.
It's been tough. Well, and on top of that, your story has been interesting because you went from Norwich to like a polar opposite in Tyler, Texas community college, then to another polar opposite at South Florida, and then the GA. So your journey has been interesting as well. Like, what was that like, perspective wise, thinking? Because I'm sure you thought through it. Like, what have I done at several stops throughout?
Yeah, I mean, I think I expected like tumbleweeds and stuff to be coming across when I went to Tyler. So I didn't really know what to expect. And then obviously junior college was actually a decent level. And then I realized that junior college wasn't very respected in the US when I got there. And then obviously not many kids get to go to D1. And my year, my team, we didn't lose a game in 2 years. So we had I think 17 guys go to D1 schools from my second year, which is half our team basically.
Yeah.
So we just had a good group of players, and I guess my time at USF was great. I actually sometimes wish I stayed another year in college, but I just couldn't handle that spring semester where you play like one game.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we're doing right now, actually.
Yeah.
Little quarantine in college.
Yeah. No, just gym sessions.
But so you went to USF, played there for a year, then you went pro in 2012, right? And you didn't play much in 2012. Me and Ike we got there in 2013, and I remember vividly in preseason, like you were the fourth forward, right? Because it was like it was Claudio, I think Teal, CJ, even like Suni was like battling with you sometimes for that spot.
No, Suni was ahead of me. Yeah, Suni was.
He was, right?
Too.
Yeah, Kai was coming back and forth. And it was seriously. Kai was there, then he wasn't.
Yeah, Kai was in Norwich, right?
Yeah. Kai came back in the middle of the year, so like that whole year was crazy, right? That was the most up and down year. It must have been the most up and down year of your career, because I mean, you ended up going on loan. I even wanted to ask you, like, didn't you have a chance to go on loan to St. Mirren at one point?
Yeah, I tried to. So in the off season, because I didn't play at all, the off season after my first year, I tried to go to St. Mirren, and Peter basically said, "Yeah, you can do it." And then it got down to it, and they were kind of like, "Oh, we want you back for preseason because we don't have Kai."
Right.
Which kind of made sense, but they just signed Claudio Biela, and then I'm pretty sure we had there was CJ, Teal, Bunbury, so there's some big forwards who were doing really well in the league at that time as well ahead of me. So I'm just kind of like learning from these guys, really good group of players, but not really expecting much playing time. So I remember Peter was like wanting me to go down to Orlando and play, and I'm like, I don't want to go to USL. And he's like, well, if you stay here, you're not going to play, so it's not really good for you. And I just decided that. Well, I kind of decided, but they forced me. But it turned out to be the best thing for me in the end. I played 15 games where I wasn't playing games at the time. I only scored like 20 goals, and then obviously it came back. but no, it was an awesome year because like I think normally you get drafted and you don't get to play on the team for a couple of years, especially a good team. And then things just kind of turned out and worked out well, where I got to get some confidence, get some rhythm, and then I came back and Claudio wasn't as hot at certain times, and I got to play games and ended up starting in the final. So
And
not only in the finals,
credit to Peter during that time, because I remember it wasn't so common that coaches would just bench their DPs. You know what I mean?
No.
And with Claudio really not performing to what the level was, and you coming off scoring all those goals with USL, I mean, still, sadly, some coaches would not really change it up, right? They'd still play Claudio.
Yeah.
You'd still be on your bench, but
Peter, it's tough, right?
Peter being
once
Peter,
you bench your DP, you bench your DP, then it's like you're sending enough of a message, like
exactly.
You bring them in to do that. So it was difficult. And I remember I kind of blamed him. I was younger then at the time, and I was mad at Claudio because he was just playing ahead of me, and then I realized he was really nice and a really good player, and like didn't speak that good of English, but he helped a lot, and he was supportive. So I think he was a good teammate for sure.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember when we played each other that year in the Open Cup, and the big stickler was you weren't allowed to play because you were on loan from us, and you were pissed because you wanted to stick it to us and Peter. We ended up actually losing, but I remember seeing you in the back tunnel, and there was a look on your face that like you kind of were happy, but you were kind of like
weird.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't want to come back.
Yeah,
but it was like I'm happy because it's weird. My teammates lost, but my current teammates won. I'm like, who should I be supporting here? Because I'm not allowed to play in the game, but I'm cup tied with Orlando. So
I think we could all admit that, at least I can. If I'm in a situation that you were in, I would definitely be like, nah, I hope my team beats the team like that loaned me out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You always want to show up, the team that whether it loans you out or trades you or whatever. When you get back on the team, then you want them to do good again. But until then, like, nah.
But I remember seeing you in the tunnel. Like, you were like one of the first people I saw, and I'm like, this asshole. Can't wait till you're back. I'm going to kick you again.
Yeah.
Dude, we got killed that game, too. We got killed. Like, they were all really good,
weird,
like, one-on-one players, and we went out and tried to press, like, all one-on-ones. And I remember the other kid that was there with us in preseason in 2013 and then went to Orlando. I forget his name though. He was an African kid, but really like good one-on-one player.
Wasn't Kyle Molino on that team too?
Kevin Molino?
Yes.
Kevin Molino, sorry.
Yeah,
he was, right?
Kevin Molino was.
Yeah, he was with Orlando.
He's class, mate. I mean,
he's a good player.
Great character, but he's a class.
Yeah, you never know what he's saying, but yeah, good dude. Love the guy.
Trini man.
Yeah. So one question that I wanted to ask you about that year is when you finally did come back, and I remember you actually came back and then went back to play the USL finals. But when you came back, got recalled and you had been scoring a bunch of goals. Like, what was your mentality when you came back to Kansas City? Like, did you feel like that now it's your chance, or did you feel slighted at first, or did you have a chip on your shoulder? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, I still had the chip. I was just mad. I was mad at. I didn't really know who to blame at that time. It was kind of against Kansas City, but against the coach because he sent me on loan. But I think it took me a couple of years, I think, to realize that they were just giving me an opportunity. Otherwise I could have just been sitting on the bench and watching games. So it's hard to say, but no, I was just like, I want to win. I felt a taste of winning, and I didn't really celebrate when I won with Orlando. I was just kind of like, all right, that's for them, but I need to show them what I can do. Show Peter. I think it was mostly directed towards Peter at the time.
Yeah.
Plus, you only scored like 4 goals in the final, so like, what's there to cheer about
for USL?
Yeah, and that still was like 7-5. Crazy. Crazy.
The funny thing is what you're saying about Peter. If Peter were listening, he'd love this shit, right? Like that, he pushed the right buttons so that you'd be pissed off at him and then like come back and play well. Like, that's Peter right there.
You can tell him I'm still pissed off. Nah. he earned all his good face back with me because, there's not much control when you get traded to different teams. And he definitely, let me know that there was options of certain places that I was potentially going to go, and he knew where I wanted to go. So he definitely sent me where I wanted to go. So I respect him a lot for that.
Yeah. And going to that, didn't you also have, before you actually got traded to Orlando, didn't you have options in Europe? I know there was something going on there. And why did it not? Was it you that didn't want to go there? They didn't offer enough money, or how was that? How did
No,
that
they actually agreed. They agreed to sell me. I can't remember how much it was. It was like 30 million or 3 million. I think it was 3. But it was like
30 million pesos?
3 or 4 million, pesos or euros or something. And then they were negotiating the contract with me. So then Kansas were like, you can talk to the club. So it happened all in like literally a week span. And Sydney is 8 months pregnant. So I'm about to, it was Olympiacos. So they were like, we want to buy you. You can head off to Greece. And I'm like, well, if I go there now, it was Champions League. And that would have been my first game was Champions League. So this was on the Thursday and the Champions League game was on a Tuesday. So the coach calls me and he's like, we want to sign you. We want to have you in. And, it was the salary they offered me was 4 times what I was making at Kansas City.
Yeah.
So it was really life-changing. And I couldn't leave Sid at the time because she would have had to stay. So I didn't want to miss the birth of my child. But then I was like, wow, this is Champions League football. I'm going to play next. It's only a qualifier, but, still Champions League game. So I had to say no to that. It just wasn't the right time. So we couldn't come to terms. And I said no. And then they actually lost the game on the Tuesday. And then the coach got fired at the weekend. So I think I dodged a bullet, to be honest. Because the new coach might have came in and not like me. But some things are meant to be, some not. But I'm sad about that. I want to, I don't want to lose my place in the MLS, but I wouldn't mind a loan or something at some point.
Well, in terms of financially, I don't think you did too badly in going to Orlando. I think you're still. Are you still the highest traded commodity in MLS between teams?
I
think it was.
I guess.
Right?
I think I was. They hadn't figured out the market yet, so I was.
I think Darlington.
No chance. Dom went for 1.6, bro.
Yeah, but Darlington's close with triggers. I'm pretty sure. Well, it doesn't matter. They're both up. I mean.
I think at the time,
anyway,
Dom, yours was at the time the most by far, I believe.
No, yeah.
But then I thought there was 1 or 2 after that came close or maybe beat it. I don't know.
Well, I just jumped out of the Gold Cup at the time.
You set the bar. Yeah.
So I was hot.
You should be happy that you're in Darlington's tier, Dom. But anyway, so whatever.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I am. I still haven't managed to get the ball off him once.
Yeah, no one can. It's impossible.
No, you can't take it from Darlington. But
I've done it once, and it's in the top 5.
Yeah, but training doesn't count.
I was gonna say, dude, Peter did some crazy job at trading you though, because I'm pretty sure on MLS rules, if you had gone to Olympiacos, you get a certain percentage of the transfer fee. Some goes to MLS.
Yeah, they would have got less.
Whereas if you trade for allocation money, which is what he got, he gets all of it, I think. So
yeah, I think you only get 20 or 25% of a transfer outside of MLS.
Right.
Or the club itself.
So yeah, he got more.
I think he got more. And
so you got paid, SKC got paid, and Orlando got screwed.
It looks like it, huh? Hey, I still got time. I'm determined to get this squad to the MLS playoffs and stuff.
Dude, you guys should be. I mean, that's the goal, right? You guys have been trying for a while now.
It is. I'm starting to think that I'm the problem. I don't know.
Well, you guys are trying really hard this year. We're trying to get MLS to be just played all in Orlando. All you have are home games coming up.
I'm ready. We're honestly we're ready here. I just hope that it happens. It's hard, right? Because we're here in Orlando, so we have maybe a different perspective to everybody else. So I wonder how players who have to travel in feel.
Yeah. Definitely.
Don't you get my opinion on this right now. Don't you? This isn't for me. It's gonna be some hot takes. All of our speakers might blow up. But anyways, carry on with the interview.
So you have or have not been training?
What do you mean? No, our market's open.
Okay.
Hey, we don't want Don Garber to start calling out BSI the podcast like he did the Athletic the other day, or today or yesterday or something. So we'll keep it quiet on this front. But
okay.
Dude, I wanted to go back Kansas City. I mean, that was for me. I think for maybe Sal not as much because you were only there for a year and we didn't win one that year. But obviously, a lot of great years there. So what was your best memories? Was it on the field or was it hanging out with Ike off the field? I know there's probably some stories there that you guys want to share.
No, I stayed away from those guys, that group.
What was the group?
There was nothing but trouble. He'll tell you the group. There was nothing but trouble with that group. I wanted nothing to do with him.
What group?
Every now and again I showed up, but then I left early.
Oh dear. We had a good time, to be fair.
I remember watching videos at you guys at your pool in your house, like just doing random ass crazy shit.
Most days we'd be outside just carrying on what we were doing at training. So that messing around that was there for 2 hours just carried on for like 6 hours. And we'd be playing football all day long, to be fair, but
okay. Just lie to the people. Whatever makes you sleep at night.
Yeah, all right. Hey, it worked.
Yeah, I remember rooming with. So my first time with Kansas City, I roomed with Dom in Orlando, and I got to see him at least 2 times during that whole 2-week preseason. So we really got to know each other.
Yeah,
he had tons of
back in the room.
It was in Orlando, Sal?
It was in Orlando.
Yeah, well, then,
so
I mean,
was,
dude,
oh my god,
he's got too many connections down there. I mean, just his 2013 year alone in Orlando just made him a god over there.
Yeah.
No, I think they took it back now. It's long forgotten.
Like you said,
they're like kicking me out now.
You still got years to, reprove yourself, I guess.
Well, hopefully we can play, right?
Yeah. But going back, like Kansas City on the field, like what was your best some of your best memories?
I think that 2013 team we had was pretty special. But then, from there, I think, not many clubs have those like long-standing players, like the Zeus's and the Beaslers, and so I think that's what Kansas City has done really well. And I think, I'm sure you guys can say this as well, that having gone to different clubs, you realize that Kansas maybe isn't as big of a market team, but you realize how well oiled of a machine it is and how well they run things and how well they kind of do things from top to bottom. It's quite impressive.
Yeah. Definitely. I was gonna mention 2013 for sure, but what about 2014 where you had in terms of stats like just a ridiculous year?
Yeah, I was devastated that year because we lost in the first round of the playoffs, wasn't it, against New York?
I mean, our team wasn't good at the end of the year though. So, like we were good.
No, we weren't.
We faded the last 10 games.
Mid-year, we were very. I think we were like in first place mid-year. I remember after that game against the Galaxy, the one that I scored the LeBron thing. You remember that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like after that game, I'm pretty sure we were in first place.
That was the worst celebration of
yeah.
all time.
Or when you score with your left foot, you're pounding your left foot like you like. Anyways,
what's the matter? I can't celebrate. I've never.
I've got
scored
bad
my
ones
left
too.
foot
To be
before.
fair. Anyways, this isn't about me. It's about Dom. Sorry.
But I was gonna ask like that year, like we were really good, and then we just kind of like tumbled towards the end, and that like Red Bull game.
We always had that little slump, didn't we? Like towards right before the playoffs, like we were pretty much in the playoffs, and then we'd make it really difficult and kind of lose that first seed, and then P would go crazy for a bit, and then we'd just be in the playoffs. But we knew. I'm pretty sure you walked in one day, and I was like, you ready to train? How you feeling? You were like, I just can't fucking wait for this season to be over.
I said,
I feel like I came the wrong year because it was like I felt like there was a bit of like MLS Cup hangover. Like, okay, we did it. Yeah. I know that's not really the culture in Kansas City. You guys went on to win other games, but that one year it almost felt like everybody was a little content and happy a lot of the time, and then it started going bad towards the end, and we couldn't dig ourselves out.
Everyone wanted a new contract and stuff, right? So when you win, it's like everyone wants a bit more, and you lose some people. And I remember, I think it was the end of that 2014 year where Peter came in the meal room. You remember the end of the season?
Is this the one where the champions?
Oh, when he said, "I'll see you guys. Some of you guys I'll see. Some of you guys I won't." All right, bye.
He didn't have meetings with anyone. That was the only year I didn't have a meeting with a coach after the season ended.
He wanted nothing to do with us. It was great. I was hurt the whole year, so I'm like, look what you guys did. Oh.
No, Dom, I thought you were going to mention the PV one where the money's on the table. You remember that one?
Which one?
Where like, because you were talking about like everybody wants a new contract or whatever, and PV would always say, "Look, you want a new contract? Go out there and play. The money's on the table. You do well. If you don't get it here, you'll get it somewhere else. The money's on the table." And we're thinking like he was talking about like bonuses. I'm like, dude, the bonuses like that we get like $100 if you win a game or something.
My favorite PV story is, how he walks around after training and he'll be like, you're stretching. He's like, "How you feeling today? How was it?" And you want to be like, "I'm hurting," or "It's hard," or whatever. So one day I just couldn't take it anymore. I said, "All right, do you want me to tell you the truth, or do you want me to lie to you for the 1,000th time?"
Oh,
He just smiled. He said, "You're all right," and just kept walking. I'm like, this guy.
Oh, he was. I don't even know which. I got a few stories I can't say.
They're good. Oh yeah. No.
Oh,
all right. Well,
decent times there.
KC was a good time for all of us. All right, national team, bro. National team. So like you were mentioning it. Was it 2015? 17? When did you play? When was the Gold Cup? 17?
17, I think. Yeah.
So I remember we had a game that day.
17.
The same day that you guys played against Ghana in like the build up to the Gold Cup. I think it was like the friendly right before. And we were all watching, and I'm pretty sure you guys weren't playing very well. And we're all like, watch this guy. He's just gonna like score some goals somehow, like out of nothing. Like that's Dom. And sure enough, you scored like the game
ball
winner.
just popped over.
I don't even remember the goal, but I just remember it was just
Mate,
like
it was like a
Dom.
triple deflection off 3 different guys and just pops perfectly into me.
Yeah, and so you scored in that game. You guys win, and then you played the first game. I think was it Panama? I can't remember who you guys played against.
Panama scored against that one.
And you scored against that
and
one
then
too.
The next game.
What was the next game? I don't even know what happened.
So the next game, I played 4 games. The next
Right.
game I played like a little, and then the next game I played and missed a penalty. And
that's right.
I won the penalty, missed the penalty.
Yeah.
And then like I missed another chance, and he made a good save, and I was subbed off after like 60 or 70. We had already won the group by that point.
Right.
But and then I the next day I remember I was pretty confident at that point. I had like a couple goals, couple appearances. I thought I'll get a chance. There was quite a few strikers there. And then I remember Bruce calls me in the next morning, and we just finished breakfast. I was feeling good, still probably talking about some goals and stuff. And he's like, "Hey, just want you to know that," he said, "we got Josie and Clint are coming in today, so we'd already planned this. So you probably won't get much playing time now, and Kansas want you back, so we're sending you home." I was like, "All right, cheers." And he's like, "You look surprised."
Why'd you tell him? No, I was expecting to get cut, Bruce.
Yeah, I was just like, "Yeah, I am actually."
Bruce is a straight shooter. He's just like,
yeah. He was like, I'm pretty sure, Daniel, you didn't do too well. I was like, "Oh, it's Dominic, but cheers, mate."
Did he ever mention if like he was going to bring you back or anything like that, or no?
Nah. He just was. I was like, I thought I'd done something wrong. I was just kind of sad that I missed the penalty. So
there she is. Sid, don't worry, we're going to bring you in for a special segment coming up soon.
Sid, they said good night.
Dom, do you feel like first, do you still want to like get a chance to get back on the national team? Would you want that, or is that like past you now?
I was, I'll be honest, I was pretty sad after the team didn't make the World Cup, because I kind of was banking on that. That was a target for me. I just wanted to play in the World Cup. But I definitely still want to get back on the national team. I just have to look at it in a realistic way, knowing I'm 29 now and how the US is doing things. If I have a fantastic season, of course, that's going to help my cause. But at the same time, you've got so many young guys coming in. It's almost like they would rather groom them, which I think makes sense, than bring in an older player. So I'm definitely saying that would be my intention, but I'm not sure if it would be their intention.
Yeah.
Well, Dom, when you want to retire from the national team, just come on our podcast. We've had Ike, we've had Darlington, basically retire from the national team. So.
I'm sure Darlington would be more ruthless. Give me like 2 more years, and then I'll say what I really want to say.
Well, I'll say this: speaking from experience, it doesn't matter how well you do, you're not getting the call. So. You just might as well retire with me and all of us.
Hey, I'm not
although I retired
so
before then, so I'm not going to give him that much credit that he put me in the retirement. I had no desire.
Who was it?
No, I was just telling about the current regime. Half joking, but mostly serious, actually.
Who was the coach at the time?
Oh, I don't know.
All of them, dude.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't know.
No coach has ever brought in Ike for some reason.
Well, there's some stories about why, but that's, again, for another day.
Another day, another time, another day.
We need to have
Come on,
like
don't pull the
Ike's,
race card now, man. Come on.
we need to have like Ike's tell all and just have him come on for an hour and just tell all the stories he wants to tell.
I got a lot of deep emotional cuts off the field, on the field, everywhere, man.
Gosh, let's not be bitter like that. Come on, let's be
No, it's
happy.
not about bitter. It's about just being honest and vulnerable.
Hey,
and
just go my route, bro. Go my route. Just go. Just
So how
start
do you
a
like
po-
that one?
Start,
I like that one.
start,
I like that.
start a
Honest and
podcast.
vulnerable.
Ike, wait, what'd you say, Ike?
I was just saying, it's just about being honest and vulnerable.
I was gonna give you a piece of advice. Just start a podcast and just let it go and talk bad about whatever coach didn't
I don't
bring
need-
you in.
I don't need to talk bad about anyone. I'm just having fun, and I'll surely be off this podcast soon. So I've had a good run on so many levels. I can't complain.
Back to cleaning.
Hey, I got one more question for Dom before I throw him to the wolves. Anybody got anything else?
All
No, that's good. We've
All right.
laughed the entire show. So
All right,
I think
my last question is actually kind of a funny one. I came about this like while I was looking up some stories about Mr. Dominic Dwyer, and I've actually been to a couple of these, to the MLS media day before the season even starts. And there's one video of Dom being asked numerous questions, and he's just standing, like sitting there with his mic, and he looks at like this guy, and he doesn't answer the question. And he's like, "Yeah. Anybody else?" So what the hell happened there? Why did you not want to answer this man's questions?
They were very smart in what happened here. So they, this was actually a long story. All right, I'll just go into it. So I had a problem with the actual reporter who was asking the question. So it was nothing to do with the question or what he said. I was so angry at him, I didn't even hear what he was saying to me. I was just looking at him like I wanted to kill him, but I knew that there was like 20 cameras in front of me. So there's like 20 reporters, and the only person.
Can I ask you why? Why were you?
Guy.
Why did you?
You can
hate
actually.
this guy?
So he kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Probably a year before, and I'd asked him to not ask him questions. And he kept asking them, and you chat to an interviewer beforehand, say yada yada yada. We can do this, and then don't ask this. Then we continue talking. And I basically said, don't ask this, and he asked it. So I answered it, and then after the interview, I was pissed off and said, look, don't do that again. And we got into it a few times. So I didn't want to talk to him. And then, sometimes I don't like to answer questions about my personal life or my relationship, rather to just talk about football. And this guy wanted to keep asking about relationship stuff, and he wanted to know why Sydney was really injured at this time. And she was, we were actually going for a miscarriage at the time, and she was, so it was like, he's like trying to figure out why she's injured. And I'm like, look, don't keep asking me these questions. It's not, she's just injured, whatever. We're not trying to go there. So I already hated this guy. I was angry about all of that. And then I'm about to go into the media tour, and I pull my quad a week before preseason. So I don't want to go onto the trip to LA. It's like a 6-7 hour flight from Florida. So I'm like, hey, can you send somebody else? Like, let me treat my leg. And they're like, no. Okay, can you send a trainer with me so we can do some treatment while I'm there? Media days you're working 12 hours a day on those things. Right. It's not a short day. So I was more wanted to focus on my body with all this stress already and this hatred towards this reporter that I've gathered up myself. So then he's the guy that's sitting there right in front of me as I walk in, and I see his face, and I'm just fuming. And I've told our media chap, like, look, I'm not going to answer any of these questions. So I definitely could have handled it much better. So he asked the first question, I think he asked about some young players on my team. And, I'm like, fuck, I should answer this because they're really talented kids and they're really nice kids. I want to say good stuff. But, I'm like kind of on strike right now because I'm mad that I'm here. But I can definitely handle this better because now I'm sitting in front of all these cameras. And I'm like telling my media guy, like, hey, when I itch my ear, like, to answer a different question.
Yeah, all the other reporters are wondering why the hell you're not answering his questions.
Yeah. So now all their media ears pop up and they're like, oh, what's this? So now they're like, we don't have any questions. Like, so they just want to hear this. I'm like, oh, great.
Dude, I've made some headlines for like answering certain questions the wrong way, but you made headlines for not answering questions. So
I know. Well, I realized if I said what I wanted to say to him, like that would be my screen. So I figured at least it would be something awkward that people would have questions for. But I definitely regret the way I handled that. And I think the club were upset with me, but I was frustrated. I didn't want to be injured right there and doing that.
Yeah.
It's a different focus, right? MLS wants to get the media done, and I'd rather be focusing on the body at that time.
Yeah, of course.
But that's how that went down.
All right. Well, I'm glad you got through it, and it made for some awkward TV, but it was funny for me. So thanks for that.
Good. I'm glad you would enjoy it.
Before we get to Ike's interrogation, we got a special segment today. And so, Dom, go get Sydney because she needs to come on, and we're going to do the special segment.
Sid, you're on.
All right, now we're going to get Sid to come in because it's not a real podcast, and it's not, Dom, that's your better half there. So we need to get her on the podcast as well. And we did a little special segment today. Before we get to the rules of the special segment, I just wanted to use this moment to say congratulations for getting the kids to sleep early, which is something that we do as well. And you guys can tell Sal that he never does it. You know what time Sal's kids go to bed?
Time.
Midnight.
12:30.
No.
It's terrible.
Sal goes to sleep before his kids.
The thing is, so like it's reversed. So like I wake up at 7 and I have my like 3 hours then. Instead of like at night, I have it in the morning. It's terrible.
Mate,
It's backwards.
So I wanted to thank you guys because we wouldn't even have time to do this podcast and have Sid on it here if you guys didn't do the right thing and have a nice sleep schedule.
Exactly.
They'll probably
it's
come
always-
down in a little bit, but
But it's always good, telling Sal like, what the hell is he doing over there?
We're
But,
good. We're good disciplined parents though, for sure.
yeah.
The kids
No
run the
cameras
house.
around or anything, right?
Sal wakes up and asks the kids what time dinner's going to be tonight or whatever.
It's like midnight. He's like, what time is it, guys?
They do at midnight. They'll be like, "Dad, I'm hungry." I'm like, "Go to bed." There's no way I'm walking downstairs and getting food right now.
All right, so here's the game. Honestly, I don't even know if this is a game. I don't even know how it's gonna, pan out. But I've asked Aaron, Destiny, and Michelle, our wives, all questions, and it's called the Not Newlywed. Let me make sure I read it right. The Not Newlywed Game, Quarantine Edition. So I'll ask you these questions, and I think Ike, Sal, and Dom, you guys should like write your answers down because obviously we're doing
I'm gonna
video
do it like
format
this.
here.
I'm gonna put it like
that's
that.
that's perfect. Anything you have like something to write down, you guys can write down your answers, and then we will compare them to the ladies' answers. And I'm gonna do the same, obviously, because I need to write down. Even though they were my questions, I don't know what my wives' answers were yet. So here we go.
I'm gonna have to
All
talk
right,
to
I'll wait for
Michelle
Dom to
about
get
her
back here.
answers then.
I'm back.
What's that?
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. Here it is. And the questions, let me read the question and then we'll decide one thing. The first question is, what's something unexpected your husband has done during quarantine to help you the most? So we'll just go with what you guys think you've been most helpful with, the husbands, I'm saying.
So do I write it and she's just going to say it or what?
And then she'll tell, then I'll go through all the ladies' answers, and Sid will be the last one, I guess, to answer. So
Yeah, it's gonna take.
So do
time.
I write what I've done most helpful?
yeah, what you think
what you
you've
think.
done to help.
What you think you've done to help.
Oh,
A list is
there's a
huge.
couple.
Hey, don't flatter yourself, Ike.
I'm the best husband there is.
There
in
is
the
a
world.
couple. There is a couple. But
I'm the best husband in the world. All the females would be jealous that they're not with me.
Sid can't think of one thing over there. Dom's writing down a paragraph.
All right, I'm ready to go.
All right. So let's see Ike's answer, and then I'll share with you Aaron's answer.
Okay, I couldn't decide between these two, but it's either cleaning the entire place nonstop or being a drill sergeant about washing our hands and sanitizing.
She said
Ooh.
he goes on walks with me when I'm going stir crazy in the apartment.
That's true.
all
Wait a
right.
second. You clean the entire apartment all the time?
Nonstop.
Dude, that is like you should have kids. You'd be able to
Yeah,
do
you
You
should.
really
No, it's a little bit different now, but I don't want to take away time from all the other guys. Like, let's get to the
true.
other answers.
All right, Sal, let's hear you.
I said I've become a world-class chef.
Well, there
So
you
I'm
go.
cooking.
Destiny approves because she said he's been cooking a lot more, which is really nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Twice a week, up to twice a week, huh, Sal? Nice.
Hey,
I said
Let's
before
hear what
Dom
Michelle
goes.
had to say.
Yeah. So
What's that?
I said
Oh, okay.
I'm doing a lot of loading and unloading the dishwasher.
Oh, it's the worst.
Hey, Benny, good
I
job, dude.
Yeah.
I think that
Way to come through, man.
I won't do
You
that.
I
are-
think that's
worst.
the easiest thing, and
The
she hates
savior.
it. So like,
No, it's
hey,
brutal.
Sal, she hates it. So like, I said, oh, I'll do that, no problem. You do the poopy diapers, I'll do the dishwasher. Like fair trade.
That's
She said he hangs out with Luca a lot while I get other things done.
So you do nothing.
So what she means by that, I just want to make sure that everybody understands. I chill on the couch. I bring Luca downstairs, put some TV on, and she does like a bunch of housework apparently.
It's basically the same as your playing days, right?
Not
Nothing's
much has
changed.
changed.
All right,
Yeah.
Dom, let's see what you wrote.
I think mine's grill some amazing meals and care for the kids and tidy the house as well.
Wow, 3 things. Look at
Yeah,
that.
I didn't have enough time to write any more.
Sid, what do you say?
I was gonna say grill, and he takes care of the dogs, so the dogs are my thing.
Takes care of the dog. The dog takes care of themselves.
Yeah, but he feeds the dog. So
Yeah, she forgets to water
Shouldn't we
them.
we should have Sid say it first and then
Yeah.
Dom
Yeah,
reveal it.
I'm gonna-
Let's start
Yeah,
again.
that's true,
I
that's
was
right,
gonna
that's-
say
that's
grill,
smart.
but definitely
So
not the kids.
I guess we'll make it like some kind of a game, and I'll give a point to Sal there. He was the most accurate there. So
There we go.
All right.
so Sal's up to 1 point here.
All right. How many
second-
questions do we have?
5.
Okay. Oh my god.
So second
okay.
question. Here we go. What's something about your husband that you've realized now more than ever that needs to change?
Oh.
Oh, you already know what I'm gonna say.
I feel like she's lectured me on this like so many times and I still can't even remember what it is.
I think I've got mine already.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what it is.
I'm not sure either. All right, I'm good with mine here. Ike, you good?
Let's do it.
All right, Ike, you first.
My love of sitting. I love to sit. I'm the world's best sitter, I think.
I don't know. I don't know what that even means, but she went deep with this one.
Oh dear God.
You chew your cereal too loudly.
Oh,
Oh, that's tough.
That's
What? I've had
She's
cereal.
going crazy.
Yeah. Well, I've had cereal like.
She can't stand you.
you've
I've
been
had
married
cereal
1 year, bro,
I've had
and that's
cereal-
already a thing that needs to change.
I've had cereal 5 times maybe in the last 4 years, and apparently I chew it loud.
I would go nuts. I go nuts. If someone eats chips in front of me, I'm like, stop.
oh
All
God.
right, Sal, let's hear yours.
Okay, I'm gonna say that I'm bad at like taking the hints of like when she needs help with the kids. Like I just kind of chill and I wait for her to like blow up before I actually do anything.
Bro, she gave us some nice info here. He needs to stop eating so much ice cream and shave his legs. Wait, does that means you don't?
She hates hair like on legs. hates
She wants you to shave your legs.
Yeah, she hates it, and I'm just like a normal person.
So
who
normally you
doesn't have
shave
hair
them,
legs.
but now you're at home.
Normally
more, you
I
don't
do
shave
like
them.
the little trim, use the hair trimmer.
Okay. Yeah.
So
You don't want to do like
my
a proper shave.
No.
My answer would have
Yeah.
been good with Destiny's. I said my eating habits need to change, especially now that I'm retired. I figured that maybe that she's what she said, and
No more
she
Kit Kats
said
or what?
she said his tone during nap time. I don't even know what that means. Am I like too loud?
You're too loud.
It means you're grumpy.
Yeah. No, because you're an asshole, grumpy,
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
tired.
And you're grumpy as hell. You're the
Yeah.
worst.
She
You wake
said
up
she went
to
on.
those
She went on
pre-game
to.
meals.
She detailed it more to make me look even worse. She said, I'll be all chill and relaxing, and he comes in the room ranting about something I don't want to hear about. I'm resting.
Yeah. Every single morning of training, like between 8 and 9, then he would be bitching, and then like half the warm up.
All right, let's see. Let's see Sid first, and then we'll see what
Yeah,
Dom
go
wrote.
on, you
Okay.
go.
I think he nags a lot. He
Dude,
really
nagger.
likes to nag.
No, what do you call me? You call me a crow, don't you?
Yeah. Like just you know how crows just like pick at things.
Yep.
That's what. Yeah.
Let's see
Do
it.
it again?
Oh, there's more.
No.
And I have this thing where you have to.
It was
take
just one thing.
I've got a lot.
Let her vent.
You have to take It's called bath before bed, and it's always been a thing. And for some reason, during quarantine, he has not followed the protocol of bath before bed, especially in quarantine. And so he ends up getting mad and sleeping downstairs because I won't let him in the bed. So that's like, I don't know why that's changed since we've been in this, but it's always been the same for like the last 6 years. So I don't.
But like, here's Sydney's bath before bed. Like, if I showered before this podcast and then we were on here for like an hour and a half, like I could have got dirty in that time, so she'd want me to shower again before bed. So it's like,
you still need to be, yes. It needs to be right.
You got to
back,
disinfect
right
these days, bro. Disinfect.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see what you said, Dom. What needs to change about Dom?
Bath before bed. And help more with the kids. So,
all right, we're gonna give Dom that point.
That's a point.
I'm winning that one.
Well done.
I'm going over, and I've been the most confident of the first two questions.
Dude, I'm starting to sweat here. I'm laughing too much.
Yeah.
All right, third question. Wait, let me see what the. So on a perfect day, how much completely alone time do you want from your husband and family? So now
Like
you're
from
guessing
Your
as
husband- what do you mean?
so basically you're
what
guessing
time.
how many hours during the day does your wife want to just be completely isolated?
With me
No,
or by
without
herself?
anyone.
Oh, away from her family.
Yeah, so like during
Alone.
quarantine where we're all like
Yeah.
here in the same house at the same time, like how much time in a perfect day does she want on her own?
Okay. I got it. It's a wild guess, but
All right, this one should be a quick one. Ike, what do you got?
0.
0 hours?
0.
No, I don't.
Ike, you are just.
Yeah.
There's no kids involved.
First year of
Oh
marriage.
my God!
So,
Aaron said none. Quarantine is giving me separation
Wow.
anxiety.
Bingo.
Oh.
0.
I don't even understand
What?
why. Why has
Because
it been
I'm
done
the
together
best.
whole-
Yeah.
Because I told you this at the start. Every woman would be happy to be with me because I'm the best.
because you're married for a year, you still love each other.
Yeah, you're in the.
Well, we've been
newlywed
together
stage.
for many years, so okay. Let's
Honeymoon
slow the roll.
stage.
Let's see
Yeah,
Sal if he can get it right.
I put 2 hours.
2 hours. Destiny said, "I love my family, but I'd definitely be happy for an hour to myself. Even a shower or pee by myself. She doesn't even get that to go to the bathroom on her own."
Not with 3 girls, no.
Oh man.
So I said 2 hours, and there we go, boys. There's another one. 2 hours. Sometimes I wake up early just to relax and drink my coffee before the chaos. So that's about right. All right, Sid, what do you think?
I love my children, but I need 3 hours.
I said 2.
No.
Right. Ike and Benny with 1 point on that one.
So we're all tied. We're all tied with
So
1.
confused.
Yeah, I need 3. I've always said I
All
just
right.
need 3 hours.
And that's 10 minutes segment for Sydney. Cheers, guys.
We're you guys' therapy right now. Okay, you need this.
Yeah, I do. Because I take like a workout into account,
Yep.
a shower. 3
Yeah.
hours. Give me 3
Very
hours.
well done. All right, 2 more questions. They should be quick ones.
Okay.
How much of the daily housework, this includes kids, cleaning up, whatever, everything, literally everything that comes with housework, does your husband do in percentages? So give us a percentage how much your husband does to help around all kinds of activities around the house. All right, I got mine.
That's tough because
Can we get like a rate, like
There's
a
1
like
through
a minus
100, you
10,
know?
like
Yeah,
a plus
1
or
to
minus
100.
10%?
I
Yeah,
know,
but like-
I know.
Can we get like a plus or minus 10% or like 10?
Yeah,
Like,
well, whoever's closest will get the point.
oh, okay,
Okay,
fine.
that's fine.
How much I do, right?
Yeah, how much you do.
Yeah. It doesn't wait. Like laundry doesn't count. Like
Laundry
it
counts.
takes longer. It doesn't count as a higher percent.
Well, it's gonna be how she's thinking. So I feel
Yeah.
like maybe it's sometimes
Okay.
not time. Maybe it's like how hard things are or whatever. I got mine.
All right.
Ike, can you write something down, or are you just
I-
gonna ponder and
I have
calculate?
no idea because this could go as much as I say I do things. It's
Ike's
also
gonna be like 100%. I do all the cooking,
To
cleaning.
be fair.
no, that's not true. I don't do 100% of the work.
I will be fair.
Mm.
All right, Ike, I'll let you go last. Sal, you want to go
Okay.
first?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the little tactic here. So I'm not gonna hit it on the button, but I want to be the closest. So I'm gonna go 32.5%.
Wow,
Wow.
32.5.
I
Let's
was
see
gonna
what
say
she
30,
said.
but I gotta say 32.5.
Destiny said, I don't even know what this means, but she said voluntarily 10%.
Yes.
So I guess that means like when she forces you to do it, then you do more.
Yeah.
Well,
So, but did she give you that other percentage?
Oh, she said. Oh, yeah, she said. My
Okay.
bad. She said voluntarily 10%. If I give them a list, probably 40 to 45%. That's not far from what you said.
Wow.
7.5%, right? She said
So-
40.
He's told.
So I'll say I'll give you like 27.5. So you were 5% off. Let's say 5% off.
Okay.
All right, Ike, did you come up with something?
I'm just gonna go 50-50. I don't know.
50-50?
That's what we strive.
Aaron said 70%.
Yeah. Well,
He's
it's been.
exceptionally good at sweeping.
I am great at
What is
sweeping.
wrong with you?
No, but that's
He
been.
is a little sweeper in training when I stand offside.
But but you know what? I screwed myself because I was going off of our relationship as a whole, not like the quarantine version. Over quarantine, I've been really stepping up, and that's what got me.
Well, I mean, you're good at sweeping. What do you get? Like a mop or like a broom, or what do you do?
I got the broom, got the dustpan. Every now and again, I'll bring out the Swiffer. I'm all about it.
Wow.
Dude, we just got the iRobot, the
Zumba or whatever Roomba.
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
wait till your
Zumba,
dog takes
Zumba.
a shit and it
What's it
drags
called?
it through the house.
Drags it through the house.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right,
that's
all
happened
right.
to us more than
I
once.
said 33%. I don't know what
Wow.
she said. I'm
32%.
probably being nice on this one, but 40%. That's mainly because of how much he helps with Luca. Let's be honest. I do all the house chores.
Yeah. She was really nice. It should not be over
Yeah.
single digits for you.
No.
Well,
that-
if she
is that
had,
I don't believe
if
that's
she
how
had,
she
no,
said it.
you're winning, Sal, because I said 33. So right now, if she hadn't been so nice, I might have won the damn point. But now we're not going to get the point. All right, Sid, what do you think?
I would say about 20%.
20%. 25%. So Sal and Dom get a point on that one.
20%. That's bullshit.
Oh, 25 is that much higher.
All right, so
all right. Yeah,
so
we'll see.
points right now going into the last question. Sal and Dom with 2 points. Me and Ike with 1. This last question is worth 2 points because it's the most important. Here we go.
You guys all want a chance to
Come
win.
on.
That's why.
And this is a multiple choice, so it's easier to get it right. After a long, grueling day in quarantine, what's your activity of choice at night? Netflix and chill, straight to bed, or fun adult time?
For like how's the question?
As soon as the kids go to bed, we normally like.
Was that the party in the Red Seas?
Yeah.
Did you say fun adult games?
Wait.
Like fun adult
Fun
time.
adult
Sal, do you know what that
action.
is still? I know you have 3 kids, but
Fun adult time.
yeah.
Wait. Hold on here. Is that what you, as a couple, do? Or like what the husband would want to do?
Well, it's what she would want to do, right?
Okay, what she would want to do.
It's
Different ballgame.
what's her perfect day? I mean, her perfect activity, I guess, after a long, arduous quarantine
Okay.
day.
I know what it is.
Easy peasy.
Oh, I know what it is for sure, and I know why.
All right, let's go with Sal. You ready?
Yeah, but so
Sal's struggling right here. He doesn't want to get wrong.
because the chill part is it's a
That's what C's for.
Netflix and chill is watch a TV show, watch a movie,
just watch a TV show.
chill
Okay.
up, chill on the couch, and
Nothing
just watch
besides
something.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing-
Yeah, that
nothing
one. Netflix for sure.
No touching of any sort of.
Like 3 kids in between us sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Netflix.
No, your
all
kids are awake.
So let's see what Destiny said.
That's true, Sal. That's true, Dom.
Yeah, my
Dude.
kids are awake usually.
Destiny's crushing your guys' lives over here because she said, "What the heck is fun adult time? Our kids go to sleep after midnight, but our way to wind down is definitely with a show." So correct,
Yeah.
Sal. Well
Yeah.
done.
Nice.
So Sal, well, I guess he can't
Well,
be
I guess
surpassed
Dom
by
can
us.
catch us. So let's
Yeah.
see what we said. Ike, go ahead.
I said bed.
Straight to bed. Let's see. What
For her.
Aaron said.
She sleeps. She goes to bed early.
Aaron said, "I go to bed and fall asleep to the sounds of Ike yelling RPG with his friends." At least that's not a video game.
So I just downloaded video games again during quarantine. I haven't played them in years.
I think we all did.
Warzone
We all
or
did.
what?
I did too.
And so
I did too.
Call of Duty. I just started playing, and I just RP.
What does
Anyways,
RPG stand for?
it's just I don't know. What it
Role,
stands for.
Rocket
role
launcher.
playing game. Role playing.
No, it's.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Ike gets
damn
2
it.
points. I said Netflix and chill. It's more likely in the afternoon the other time. But let's see what she said. Oh no, Netflix and chill. But don't worry, there is no lack of fun adult time. Look at that, dude. I think.
Look at you guys trying to just act like you guys are better than everyone else. We all have adult time, okay?
We have loads of sex and we have 3 kids. Yeah.
I had a vasectomy and I'm worried that we're gonna make a 4 somehow. So
I did too. Sid doesn't know yet.
I know that eye roll, by the way. All right, last one for you guys. You guys can tie the game with Sal. What is your answer, Sid?
Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill. Dom, you gonna give us an answer?
Well, I said she's gonna pour a drink and then watch a movie or a show about murders and killing somebody.
That sounds, dude. I should let Michelle come hang out with you, Sydney. Oh my god!
Anything
What do you watch?
like
Snapped?
murder.
I watch all of
IDTV?
IDTV.
Dude.
If it's like serial murder, something
All
like
the time.
horror.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
right there.
horror, just like trying to find out who killed who.
Well, I didn't know who was gonna, how this game was gonna turn out, and it turned out exactly like no one's a winner apparently. Sal and Dom and Sid and Destiny all tied. Me and Ike are
Great.
3 points. Ike, we're only a little bit behind, but
Yeah, but I came out looking the best, I think, for sure. So
Yeah,
I'm
you
okay
did.
with
think
that.
so.
Especially
Yeah,
with the
Ike,
house
wait a
tour.
few
But
years when you get
let's
kids.
factor
Proud of
in
you, Ike.
he doesn't have any kids. Let's
Again,
factor that in.
not my fault. You guys decided to have fun adult time.
All right, well, Sid, thanks a lot for coming on the
Thank you,
podcast.
guys.
Thank you, Sid.
Now, just Dom, and after winning that championship, I guess, game with Sal, now it's time to answer some really difficult questions. And so I'll throw it to you, Ike. Your seat will start to get a little bit hotter there, Dom, and you're in Ike's interrogation now.
Let's go, Dom. Dimitri Dwyer.
Dimitri,
Right off
I
the
like
bat,
that.
let's see if we can get you to plead. Better fan base, Orlando or Kansas City?
He's rolling around in Cactus's chair.
I made Ike ask this
Yeah,
one.
he
'cause
did.
It's very simple. It's straight to the point. Kansas City or Orlando?
Gosh.
Let me tell you.
An easier question would have been, what's a better team? But
if you don't know how these go,
fan
Dom,
base.
if you plead off the bat, I'll be nicer to you because you've been a great sport this whole interview.
Nah,
But
I'm not pleading.
you're not pleading.
he
I
wants to
love
ask us something.
I would say
it. And why? Just so we're clear.
and why. I would say Orlando has an amazing fan base. Kansas City's has been like so. I can hear Sid making noise like.
Sid the
Kansas
publicist.
City's been like really consistent, and I would say those like rainy Wednesday nights. It was. I can't speak for the last few years, but there was always 19,000-20,000 at least there. It was pretty sold out still, and attendance has been down a couple of years in Orlando. So I would say that they are more consistently there.
Who's
Kansas,
better,
but
Dom?
they're both
Don't give me the
fantastic.
runaround. Who's better?
He said KC, bro. He said they're more consistent.
Yeah, he went to political answer. Look at Dom's.
Hey, I'll tell you
I
something.
didn't plead though. I didn't plead.
I'll tell you something a little bit sad. Last year, when we didn't have a good year, we didn't get sold out stadiums. Like every other year we've been in the playoffs every single year. In 2019, we didn't get as many fans. I mean, there were still a lot of good fans out there, but it wasn't sold out every game.
But what I must say is that Orlando Stadium, when it's full, phew,
It's loud.
That's a hard place to play,
It's a
yeah.
good state. Yeah, it's
yeah.
playing
And
against-
the wall is
It's
brilliant.
the best.
Like
It's the best
one
pitch
side,
it's
It's-
the best
yeah.
pitch in the
That's
league.
a
in my
nice
opinion.
pitch. Nah, New York Red Bulls is the best pitch.
Red
Yeah,
Bull's pretty
there's
good
That's
too.
true.
Red Bull's
There's a
pretty
few,
good too.
but Orlando's is
Bermuda
up there.
kind of.
Yeah, Orlando's the
Okay,
best pitch.
good job, Dom. Question number 1. Question number 2. You're the coach. Start, bench, cut 3 of these good friends of yours from Kansas City or teammates: Teal Bunbury, CJ Sapong, and Kai Kamara.
You bastard. Start, bench, cut. All right. I'm gonna bench Teal.
Okay.
I'm gonna I'm gonna cut Kai and I'm gonna start CJ.
You're cutting Kai.
I'm cutting Kai.
He's too old, dude. That's why, right?
Goals than me. He's got more goals than me in the MLS, so I'm cutting him.
So you're cutting him out of bitterness.
Yeah.
Spite.
Too bloody good, and he's 49 years old, and he's still scoring 10 goals a season. No, I love Kai a bit. He actually texted me today.
Yeah, you love him to bits, but he's getting cut off your team. So I don't know. Do you love him?
Well, I love all of them, but there was, I will not plead the fifth, so I have to answer. But if I could start them all, I would say that.
Hey, Dom, I would suggest you not saying that, because then Ike's gonna dig deep into his bag of questions. There.
No, I'm not that pet. I've let the pettiness go. I told you guys, I'm honest. I'm vulnerable. I'm a new man.
No, I don't believe it.
Hey, Ike, tell us your true thoughts about going to play in Orlando then.
So question number 3.
Yeah, come on, Ike. Let's tell us about it. Because I remember there was a couple times you wouldn't talk to me.
Rank your Orlando City managers from first to worst in your time.
I'd be out in Westport. He'd just be like...
Again, not about me. This is about you. Rank your managers from Orlando City in your time, from James O'Connor, Jason Christ, and Adrian Heath, based off of coaching ability.
What about Oscar?
No, he's at Oscar for 2.5 days with COVID. You can't throw him in there.
Mate, he's class.
I know, and I think he would win. That's why I felt like it would be an easy one.
All right. So I think the best one would be Adrian for me, because I had great success with him. I think it helped that we're English, and obviously I followed his career when I was growing up, so I got a lot of respect for him. And then I played with James, so I can't say that time was as enjoyable and successful when he coached me. And then, when you put your DP on the bench, they're probably not going to feel the best way about you. So he'd probably be at the bottom and quite low down. And then
like a wide margin.
He's not even in the basement.
Yeah, I think even Peter would be above him. No, I'm just bantering. Nah. And then
Sid's answering the question for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nah, I just got... Sid wants me to tell this one story. It's decent. Fuck it. Digging a hole anyway. So, Sid's like at the training ground one day, because we share the training ground, and James is there, like new coach. She's like pregnant by the side of the field, and like he's being all nice, He comes over. Oh, how you doing? Like, how you feeling? All good? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, when are you due? She's like, oh, June something. Oh, we got Columbus that weekend away. And he's like, yeah. He goes, I remember when I played in Stoke back in the day. He's like, my son was born. I missed a couple of training sessions and then couldn't get back in the team for 2 months. Like, cheers, mate.
Foreshadowing.
Is that a threat?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what happened. Yeah. And then, so Jason Christ would be in the middle there, because he's a very good tactician, motivator, like means well. What a strike on him as well. Pingable. But no, honestly, I like them all, but Adrian's top class in all seriousness. And I honestly, I've had different coaches that I like more, but they've all been good to me.
Okay.
Was that third question? Now it's 4?
Third question. Yeah, 4 is kind of funny.
All
right. What makes you more upset? Leaving Kansas City and virtually having zero team success in Orlando, or the level of disrespect Joseph Martinez shows Orlando every single game he plays?
Well, that actually doesn't bother me, like the disrespect he shows when he plays, because the first time I didn't really know about him. So the first time we played each other was that 3-3 game where me and him were just going back and forth with goals. So I scored, he scored, I scored, he scored. And like each time we were like talking shit to each other, like walking back to the center circle. And then that's when we became like kind of little buddies, because we would send messages and get along and have good banter. But we were just chatting shit the whole time. So I didn't really get upset with him. I was like, I didn't want him to break the record against us, but I wanted him to break the record. And I think He's a
But,
top player.
Oh
but-
yeah, for sure. But his video laughing while he's at his home, like eating a candy bar or whatever he was doing, just like that whole rivalry.
Smoking a cigar or something.
I quite like it because it's me. I mean, when the tables turn, I'm going to be doing.
Yeah,
the
you're the
exact
same way.
thing.
So
Yeah, but
I can't say anything. Yeah.
I don't know if it will be turned. What do you guys like? 5-2 against them or something?
Hey,
Just need one.
time
Just
is
gotta
an-
have one.
Time is an amazing thing, my friend.
It's true. It is true. It'll be like a waterfall. That
Yeah.
What you
I
guys
wish
gonna do?
well for everybody, but I just believe that the cream will rise, mate.
the cream will rise, or eventually at some point you guys will get a result.
The cream will rise if it has not already. You're not getting me, Ike. Give
Last
it to me.
question,
I'm not really.
dude.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to get you, but I think that which one do I want to go with? Question 5. All right. Ooh. I mean, technically, I guess I owe a fan question, but I wasn't happy with the fan questions this week. They just they weren't interesting enough for me.
I'm pretty
mostly
sure
about Sydney.
the coach it question was somebody in fans asked that one. I remember reading that one.
Or something along the line. But they also included Bobby Murphy, who I have no idea, or he wasn't he wasn't the head coach. So
Wait. So Bobby Murphy was the assistant coach when Jason Christ got fired. He like
he was the
took
interim.
over. Yeah, but he was like for one game. He's an amazing person, but it was like he's proper dry, his humor, and he's hilarious. And he's like, we come in and he's just motivating us, and you know we're already struggling with the season, and he's like, all right guys, that's my first game in charge. Like, let's just be positive, do well, and like he's like when we press, like just show them outside, or no, just show them inside, and we'll push from there. And I was like, coach, like we just explained to everyone that we're going to push them outside just to do that. He's like, well, that's why I'm not a head coach. Quality. And I think we got smashed like 4-0 or 5-0, but it was like,
Oh god.
yeah. But I can't believe someone asked that, a fan asked that.
I forget who it was.
They
to be
usually know
honest.
some inside stories.
Yeah. But what an awesome guy. Really nice guy.
Dope.
Good
Dope.
coach.
All right. We're gonna go with. All right. Women's national team strikers. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it at 2. I'm not even gonna go down the list. Winning form, healthy at their best. Alex Morgan or your wife? Who you taking and why? Soccer related.
I mean, I'm taking my wife.
No, she's behind you.
She's behind him, approaching with like a knife, dude.
It's like, no, I think I would take Sydney LaRue. Yeah,
Sydney
actually,
Dwyer.
I'll take Sydney Dwyer. Sydney Dwyer.
Okay.
LaRue's just her middle name, you know.
It's like my wife.
You've answered all 5 questions. You're off the hot seat. You now have a question that you can ask to any one of us that we must answer. And let me spare by saying I left a video of me dancing with someone off of this question. You know exactly who I'm talking about, Tom. So choose wisely.
Ike, don't try and don't con your way out of this.
Okay. All right. Well, how about I let this one be like an open question? I'll just say something about one of you guys, and then you can explain or talk about it how you want. Maybe it's like a quiz for Sal. If you had to guess between Ike or Benny, which one of the guys gets most sick from like turbulence on the plane?
Sal was there.
I was there.
Was he there? Yeah.
That was the year. I remember it thoroughly. I believe Benny came down with some turbulent sickness after the Nicaragua game, and yeah, he was struggling. We had to weekend at Bernie's him to the to the passport control people and the customs in the
We
U.S.
had to prop him up, didn't we?
Dude, this story is still. I don't even. Have we never told this story on the podcast? Because this is a fantastic story.
Slightly, but yeah.
So first of all, let's get it straight, Dom. You and Suni drugged me. First of all, so the story is we're coming back from the little hellhole that is Real Estelis Stadium.
Oh my goodness!
And we're gonna go. We have to stop in Brownsville, Texas, to refuel, and that's where we do our passport control. And I take an Ambien to pass out on the plane, and I think I had a glass of wine as well. And then you and Suni come up like, oh, let's take some shots. And by then, I already kind of feel like woozy from my Ambien. I'm like, yeah, I know. Let's take some shots. So I take like 2 or 3 shots. But
you're the super lightweight anyway.
I'm complete lightweight, and with the Ambien also, like, not a good mixture. And so I'm just like, I don't know what the hell. Like, 30 minutes, I'm just.
You don't remember?
No,
you really don't.
Yeah, I like to say it that you brown out with Ambien, right? You don't really remember anything until people the next day start telling you what happened, and you're like,
brown
oh yeah,
out.
yeah. But anyway, so then I am out. I threw up on the plane, like it was a nightmare. And then we stop in Brownsville, and I have to get off the plane to do the passport control. And people are like, dude, this guy can't get up. Like, this guy's going to get stuck here. I'm not going to be able to make it. And I remember in my head thinking, like, I got to do this the right way. As much as, like, I had no bodily functions.
We
like,
carried you down, bro. It was like Aurelian, Dom, like all of us just like threw you on our shoulders, and we put sunglasses on you, and you were like.
I just remember sitting in that little room with like chairs that were around on the walls. And I remember thinking, I'm like, I'm going to do this really well. I'm going to do this really well. And then they're like, Benny Feilhaber, they call your name up, right? And then you go up. And I remember I'm doing this so good. And I go there. I'm like, here's my passport or whatever. And I think they asked me a question. Maybe I nodded. And I'm like, I did it. I sit back down. I don't remember like really much of the rest. But somebody showed me the video. I think, was it Dom? Somebody videoed it, and I saw it the next day, and I literally looked like weekend at Bernie's. I had
you couldn't control your arms, so you were sitting in the chair, and your neck was down, but it was.
I think everyone was waiting for your name to get called too, because then everybody just started chuckling and laughing to themselves.
I'm pretty sure you tried to speak as well.
You know what's to blame for that? CCL. Go figure.
Yeah, the best
Ike's True Love.
CCL.
Yeah, best competition in the world, let me tell you.
But yeah, thanks, Dom, for coming on, bro.
Thanks, Dom.
I appreciate it.
Guys. Thanks for having me. Anything you need.
And tell Sid thank you as well. And I wasn't kidding about you guys tweeting and IGing about everything on the podcast. That'll help us.
I got you guys. Whatever you need to do, we'll sort it out. We'll make Sal rich and his brother.
Perfect. All right, bro. Have a good night, dude.
All right.
All right,
later,
guys.
bro.
Nice. See you next year, Benny.
See you.
Cheers,
See you, dude. Thanks a lot, Dom, for coming on. Dude, I knew this guy was going to give us some stories, but there are a couple that I forgot about, even like the one that he brought up about me on the plane, man. There's some good times with us 4 on the team.
Yeah, that year 2014 was we didn't win. We didn't have the best year as a team, but he had a really good year. You had a really good year, Benny. Ike, unfortunately, you were injured, and that's probably why we struggled. But yeah, it was a fun year, and it was cool. All 4 of us got to play with him. 3 of us.
Yeah, and I forgot, Sal, you lived in my building that year.
I did. That's when we got to know
we should have mentioned that, dude. And Sal's entire and Sal's entire family.
Yeah, that's right.
My foster care.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we got to remember you would come up and that was when I still played video games, and you would just sit and watch me play Madden.
I mean, I don't know if it was like that boring, but sure, something like that.
A few times.
Well, based on some of your wives' answer, nothing's changed as well with video games. So
now it's back on.
We want to thank our wives, Michelle, Aaron, and Destiny, and obviously Dom and Sydney. That was fun. A little extra segment there with the wives. And obviously we know that Ike is apparently the best husband of us 4. Congratulations for that, Ike. You will no doubt lose that title once you have kids. Yeah. So I can't wait for that day to come.
Let's hope it does, man. Let's hope it does.
For all those people that are still watching, the two of you are listening, thanks a lot for showing up today, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
When